Hey gang, Ronan here. Welcome on back to the Retrocade. It is Friday, and that means it's another episode of our continuing playthrough and our revisitation of the 1986-87 Nintendo Entertainment System classic, the one that started it all, one of the great games of all time, The Legend of Zelda. If you've been enjoying the content so far, best way to show it is leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, ring the bell to be notified of the latest content. You can also follow us now on Instagram. We are on Instagram at Ronan's Retrocade, and again, we are posting new content there every day now. It's part of my revamping of this channel and wanting to give myself a little bit better platform to operate from and get away from Twitter for a multitude of reasons, none of which really bother going into further on that. But what you can also do is help spread the word about us so we can hit our goal of 100 subscribers as soon as possible and unlock the YouTube customization algorithm so we can make this channel bigger and better. Don't forget we have Sports Saturday and Suckerpunch Sunday coming up this weekend, where we will play a sports and fighting or fighting platform-based game from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th generation. Also keep an eye out for our upcoming one-day features as well as WTF Wednesday, which we will be bringing back some point down the road. WTF Wednesday is where we explore games that on paper seem like a good idea, but in actuality, maybe not so much. And if there's a game you would like to see us feature from the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Master System, Sega Genesis or MegaDrive, SNK Neo-Geo, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, or PlayStation 2, leave it in the comments below or drop me a line on Instagram, and it can be any game from those systems that you want. Again, it gives me an opportunity to try games that I may have never played before, revisit games that I haven't played in a long time, explore games that you may have particular feelings about, and I can give you an honest assessment of it. And it also allows me to do a deeper dive into parts of the 40 years worth of video game history that I'm looking to highlight as part of the Retrocade. So, when last I left you on Wednesday, we had just gotten through Dungeon 2. We also went and picked up the most expensive item you will find in all of Hyrule, which is the blue ring, which is that little figure 8 thing up above. I can't highlight it, but that will now allow us to have the capacity to take a lot more damage as we go through the more difficult dungeons moving forward to get the remaining 6 pieces of the Triforce. We also went and got the letter, which we then converted with the old woman into a bottle of medicine. And again, the red bottles of medicine we can use twice. There are blue bottles of medicine that we can only use once. And now what our goal is for this episode, and I'm going to try and do it in the next about 25 minutes, is we are just outside of Underworld Dungeon 3. We get through this one, and then we've got to go get to Dungeon 4, which is on an island in the middle of Hyrule, so we've got to be able to find a means by which to get there. And then, if that all works out, and I've still got time, I'm going to go get the last 2 heart containers that we need, so by the end of this episode, we will have the Master Sword. At present, as you see up above, we have the White Sword, which is the second most powerful sword in this game, but the Magic Sword will, or the Master Sword rather, will make us as powerful offensively as we can hope to be. So without further ado, let's get into this level. And we start out with some of my favorite guys, and I've forgotten off the top of my head what these particular enemies are called. But with a normal sword, if I hit them, they would split into the Hershey Kiss looking little enemies that we've been seeing at different points throughout the game so far. But with the White Sword, they're just easy pickings. And these are great to be able to farm rupees from, as well as hearts when you're in a pinch, because again, one shot and that's it. One thing I want to be able to point out, since I did have somebody ask me about it on, they left a comment in the last episode I posted, was what am I using to be able to play this game on? And what I'm using is an emulator called Mesen, M-E-S-E-N. It's a free emulator, and for a long time I used what was called JNES, which was a great emulator, but I've also found that it is showing its age and is in trying to find something updated now that I could utilize with my computer. I figured, why not see if there was something that had a little bit better graphics quality, a little bit better ease of play, and so far, this has shown to be just that. So, again, it's Mesen, M-E-S-E-N. It's a free emulator. It can play virtually any Nintendo game that I have got, and I've got, right now I have a full catalog of, I believe, all of them on my computer now. And I just, over the last 2 days, spent many hours completely overhauling my database, or at least my archives with my hard drives. I swapped out my older hard drives for ones that now have 6 terabytes on them each. So I have 12 terabytes of space at my disposal as I pick up the compass here, and now we know by that dot up above on the map screen where the Triforce is. We're going to go up this way and see if we can find the map. And it doesn't look that way. And I can't boomerang and get those, and I can't push the blocks out of the way. So, okay, well that was a fruitless endeavor. But that's okay, because we gotta go this way. Now, these armored guys, these are called Dark Nuts. And these are red Dark Nuts, so they're not as strong as their blue counterparts. But as you see, if I hit them in the front, even the white sword at full power can't damage them. I have to hit them from the side or hit them from the back. And obviously the boomerang... Oh, that was perfect. Can't stun them. But getting the watch was excellent. But now we got a full room of Dark Nuts, and ow, didn't want to do that. But now we come down here and we have the raft. And the raft is what is going to allow us, when we're done with this level, to get over to the island to Dungeon 4. Stop fluttering around, you bugger. Thank you. Ow. Alright, I'm done mucking around with those guys. I got what I came for. Now, these blinking things over on the right, these are bubbles. And bubbles, if they hit you for a certain amount of time, you will not be able to utilize your sword. It is a temporary blockage, but it can be annoying if you find yourself in a high capacity room of enemies. But again, having these big gelatinous guys walking around is great, because it thereby allows me to go and get back up to full heart capacity. I'm still looking for the map. There's the map. Now, I'm going to pause this for a second, because obviously you take a look at that shape of that map, and it does draw... You can say it resembles something of an unsavory nature. I will tell you that the name of this dungeon is called Manjai. M-A-N-J-I. Obviously, it, knowing what that translates to in Japanese, I don't know, but I prefer to think of this as a pinwheel rather than a swastika. So, you have to bear in mind that for something that was done in the 8-bit generation, when graphics capacity was still very limited, they had to work with what they had. And, nowadays they would probably try and find something better than this. but then again, you have the technological means to do so. And also, Miyamoto and Sonata, the two geniuses who came up with this game, are not the sort of people who would, do something untoward as part of putting their games together, so... So, the bubbles hit me, and now I'm hitting the A button trying to fire my sword off. And I was able to, but it took a minute. So, it's like for about 5 seconds, you can't fire your sword. Now, what I need to do here is I need to equip bombs. Because in the next room is the boss. And the boss's name is Manhandla. Manhandla is essentially a sentient plant monster, where it has 4 like Venus flytrap arms around a central body. And what you need the bombs for is that the bombs will allow you to, stupid bubbles, will allow you to blow up pieces of it, or if you're lucky and you can drop the bomb underneath it in the center, you'll blow the whole thing up. But if you blow off a piece, for each piece you take off, she'll start moving around the room faster and faster. And she does spit fireballs, but having the magic shield will block that. Ow. As I stand there and just allow myself to get hit. So, again, it's trying to place a bomb. And now she's moving a lot faster. Place another bomb. Didn't get her. Still not enough. Come on. There we go. And we get the heart container. Get full life. Come up here. And we have the Triforce. So, I also didn't go up to the upper part of this dungeon. I really never have. It wasn't anything of extreme consequence up there, and because I'm operating on a slightly accelerated pace in this episode, because I have so much to do, and I want to try and keep it as close to 30 minutes as I can. We're going to skip over as much unnecessary stuff as we need to. Okay, so we'll take those guys out, come this way, deal with the Octoroks. Now we need to cross the bridge, come up here, and the raft will take us all the way across. And just like that, we are here at level 4. Now, level 4 is going to be interesting because this is the first time we need to bust out the candle in a dungeon. And dang if I don't love this boomerang. Pick up a key. But some of these rooms are going to go dark on us, and having the candle will be great. As soon as I get these bats out of here. Now let's come back down here really quick, because this had a door with a key in it. As you see here, now we've got, we've got the candle that we need to bust out, and now we can see where we're going. Now, because I've already lit this room, unless I leave again, then the lights will go back out. But as long as I stay in here, the room will stay lit. Which, again, since we can only use the blue candle once per screen, comes in handy. I wonder, can I use a bomb here? No. Okay. Fortunately, bombs are not going to be quite as essential in this one. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, I'll leave you to hop around over there. Don't have to worry about these guys. Now come back over here. Whoop, give me that. Light the candle. Now luckily these guys can't hop over the blocks, although the bats can obviously fly over them. But that is where the boomerang remains your friend. Now this one has the big Jello guys, so I'm not too worried about that. But now we got bubbles to deal with. And also we have an impediment. There we go. I'm not going to worry about that other bouncer, because I got to go through this door. Then I got to go through the door across the room. There we go, and that takes that out, so that door opens. Now, these big spongy guys, I gotta worry about a lot. Because if I let them get a hold of me, they will eat my magic shield. That is all they are good for. And I don't want them to do that. But having the bubbles here makes it really difficult. And that was the latch that I wanted, and I come down here, and I get the step ladder. Now the step ladder, as you're going to see in a minute, as soon as I get this and get back topside, is what is going to allow us to start crossing some obstacles. So now I can lay this down and go right over it. And I can even put it in a corner like that, although it won't really help me that much as far as now I gotta go around to get the map. Whoa. Okay. if there's one small complaint I have about playing this game, it is still that you have to go back to... you always have to hit start in order to change items. But again, this being a 40-year-old game, I can forgive that on the basis of everything else we're able to do. Which still plays into my preliminary reasons for playing this game, namely in that in all the time since, we have seen how this game genuinely has helped influence a lot of the great games of the 21st century that came in its wake. Specifically games like Dark Souls and Skyrim, and I mean, you can throw in probably Assassin's Creed and other games like that. Now, I always love being able to find this spot because you come in here and you immediately start picking up cash. I'll use my last bomb over here, come that way, and we bypass the whole top of the dungeon. But now we've got to take out all these baddies so we can open that door, and on the other side of that door is Gleeok. And Gleeok, this is round one of what will be a 3-fight trilogy with yet another dragon. But each time we come in, and actually Gleeok is more of a Hydra than a dragon. So, as we come in here, having our magic shield and the white sword is going to be great, because this is Gleeok, and he is a 2-headed Hydra. And he will spit fireballs, and as we hit him, he's going to lose one head, and then that head will fly around the room and try and hit us with fireballs as well. And we don't want him to hit us. Ow. As he hit us anyway. But, again, with the white sword and the blue ring, we're able to withstand the majority of the damage that they can dish out. And we have ourselves the 4th piece of the Triforce of Wisdom. And with about 8 minutes to go, we are in really good pace to go get the last bit of what we need, namely 2 heart containers, by which we can then go get the Master Sword. So without further ado, let's go do that. And on the way over, I'll go a little bit further on my thesis that I'm trying to build over the course of playing this game. Because you have to remember, in the early 80s, okay, while there were some games and some game systems that allowed you to play fantasy adventure games, like the first home console system that I had as a kid, I didn't grow up with an Atari, I didn't have a 2600. What I got was a Mattel Intellivision, which for the time was a decent system. I mean, you know, it did what it said on the tin, but the control was more of a telephone with a disc pad to control things on it, and you had to punch things in on a number pad in order to make the games work. And it didn't have a shortage of titles, and actually some of the titles it had were pretty cool for the time. But by comparison to what is around now, I mean, it was extremely rudimentary. I mean, they were 4-bit graphics, and nothing like what you could see even when the Nintendo came out a couple of years later. So now we come over here, although I'm going to take this Ox Rock out. Hopefully he gives me a heart. He didn't, jerk. And we come in here. And here is the 11th heart container we need. And then we're just going to go down 2 screens, and there will be the 12th. But if you weren't one of the lucky few who was able to afford a console at the time, and depending on the console you got, it dictated obviously the type of games you were going to be able to play. And when the NES came out and truly made video games accessible, and really good video games like this one, to the masses, for, I mean, at the time, in 1987 dollars, my mom got me a Nintendo for my 10th birthday, and it was $100, which, you know, even now is not an insignificant amount of coin. But it's like, you know, if you were able to go now and see, if you want to get like a decent laptop you can get for, you know, $200. Whereas other systems were charging you like Mac money. You know, if you want to get, I don't remember how much like a ColecoVision cost back in 1983, but I had one person I knew in my neighborhood who owned one, and he was the envy of the block simply because he had a ColecoVision and he could play Donkey Kong on it. But you were really at the mercy of what, you know, each system provided you. In some ways like we are now, but not nearly to the same extent. So I need to come over here really quick because I think it's this one. Nope, it wasn't. Shoot. Ow. There it is. So that is the power bracelet. And the power bracelet is now going to allow us to get a definite shortcut across Hyrule for the rest of this game. We're going to go this way, and now we are dealing with Lionels again, and I'm going to hold off on taking them on first, because we have to come to the cemetery. Now these ghosts, I can hit them, but ow, they are tough. And what I want is this one. Master using this, and you can have it. And this, my friends, is the Master Sword. So now we have everything we need to get through the remaining dungeons in this game, of which we have 4 more to go. And now these Lionels, who are never really easy to begin with, because you see they hit just like a truck. And if you've played Breath of the Wild, you know far better just how dangerous Lionels are. I haven't played the game, but I know people who have. But now having the power bracelet, I can push this over, and now we get this old man saying, take any road you want. Come here, fairy, thank you. And actually, this is close enough, because now we're over in the vicinity of Dungeon 2. Now, if I come up here, you remember there was over by level 3, there's another pond like this. There's a couple of them in Hyrule, which can be really helpful when you need it. There we go. Now, hopefully, this is the one I need as well. Yes. So we need to come in here, because now we have to pick up arrows for the bow. And now that we have arrows, we will always have arrows, because in this game, and it was an actually really well done mechanic of the number of arrows you have is directly related to the number of rupees you have. So in this case, I have 23 arrows at my disposal. And each time I fire one, as you see, I lose a rupee. So you don't want to fire them willy-nilly, and I should come back here and get some bombs. And since I'm right here, and he'll be back, I will pick up 20, so that leaves me with no arrows. And I'm going to have to do a little bit of quick farming to pick them up. But now that we have the Master Sword, I want to keep saying the Magic Sword because originally in The Legend of Zelda, this was called the Magic Sword. It wasn't until Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, that it became known as the Master Sword. But for the sake of, not getting skewered, for the sake of convenience, I like to try and refer to it that way. Of course, now I'm starting to get stuff when I'm not getting rupees. So what we'll do is we will head back up this way. Because we are about a minute or two over. There we go, so a couple of bucks. And I'll go over here really quick because there is a rock I want to move. This one, which opens up yet another portal that will take me to somewhere else in Hyrule. We're not going to go that way, but still nice to know that it's there. Because what we need to do is now we are in the mountains near Death Mountain. We have to go up this way 5 times. And we'll know we get it because there'll be a musical note, and then we will see the front of a dungeon. Like so. So this is level 5, and this is where we will leave it to go to our next episode on Monday. So, again, it's been fun going back and replaying this game, in part to remember all the things that that have carried with me from the first time I played this in 1987-88 over the corresponding 35 years to now, and knowing where everything is and that I can still get through this game relatively unscathed. I mean, I haven't died yet, and I haven't had to use my medicine even once. Can I say it's going to be that way going forward? No, but for my own self-confidence, and I guess for the sake of my ego, it's nice to know in some capacity I still got it. So, but as we carry through this, again, it'll be fun to reveal more secrets and show how this game really is the starting point for a skein of rock all the way to now, with all the great games that we play that reflect the same ideology and the same concepts and the same sense of discovery and open worldness that we got with the original Legend of Zelda. So, if you've enjoyed this, best way to show it is always hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, ring the bell to be notified of the latest content. Help spread the word so we can get to 100 subscribers as soon as possible, so we can open up the YouTube customization algorithm and make this channel bigger and better. Also, follow us on Instagram at Ronin's Retrocade. Also, remember we have Sports Saturday and Suckerpunch Sunday coming up this weekend. I'm looking forward to that. I always have fun with those two particular features. We will have our one-day features and WTF Wednesday coming up again down the line. More news on those to follow. And if there's a game you'd like to see us feature from the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis / MegaDrive, SNK Neo-Geo, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, or PlayStation 2, leave it in the comments below or hit me up on Instagram and let me know. It can be any game you want. And until tomorrow, where we will have Sports Saturday, I'm Ronin. It is great to be back. Be safe, be well, happy gaming, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.